Yo, what is up, guys? Oscar here with the new video, and this is gonna be discussing my Washington football team 53-man roster predictions. Tomorrow is cut day, and from what I'm hearing, there are cuts happening as I speak. I apologize for not doing this video earlier in the day. It's just been busy the last few days. Again, I have a cousin staying over, and we're just waiting for her to go into labor so that we can go to the hospital. So I've been, busy taking care of that. Maybe it's an overshare, but I just been busy having family over and all that stuff. But I will go ahead and do the 53-man roster predictions now. I need to verify some notes, some news. My question is, what is it with all these sports agreeing on the same day? Washington football team 53-man roster. European soccer have the transfer window closing as well. From what I'm hearing, Real Madrid has made a signing, but I need to make sure that is correct and not wrong. I just need to make sure that doesn't fall through like the whole entire Kylian Mbappe saga. Making sure that Kylian Mbappe doesn't sign for Real Madrid the next 24 hours, even though Real Madrid has given up on that right now. But we'll discuss that. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the 53-man roster predictions. And of course, tomorrow I'll obviously break down the 53-man roster that Washington has selected, a lot stuff like that. So let's go ahead and let's do it. So Washington football team quarterbacks, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was named the starter yesterday. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is QB1. We'll have to wait and see how long that lasts, just because Taylor Heinicke has played more and has played better in the preseason games, but we'll have to wait and see how long that lasts. So let's see how long Ryan Fitzpatrick lasts as the starter. Stay tuned for more predictions about the schedule and all that coming up here soon on my channel. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see. And then Kyle Allen will be quarterback 3. Steven Montez was released earlier today, so Steven Montez is released. So he didn't even do anything in preseason. He just threw interceptions in practice and during the preseason. Running backs. So here's the thing. It depends on. So Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, and Jarrett Patterson are locks. Now the question is, what does Ron Rivera like more? Having that fourth running back in Peyton Barber, or having that seventh wide receiver? And I'll break that down. But if he wants to go with 4 running backs, then I think that Peyton Barber makes this roster. But aside from that, I think he is done. He is out. I think Jarrett Patterson can be that, that 3rd and 1. He's a little bit more elusive. Washington can use J.D. McKissick. Antonio Gibson, he does need to improve on his 3rd down and 1, runs, because he was stuffed at the line. I think it was either the Patriots game or the Cincinnati Bengals game where he just got stopped on a 3rd and 1. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think Jarrett Patterson just knocked out Peyton Barber. But like I said, it depends on what Ron Rivera would like to do with that running, either getting a 4th running back or a 7th wide receiver. So wide receivers, these are locks. I don't think Ron Rivera is going to touch these guys. Adam Humphries, due to the Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is the starter connection, Curtis Samuel, who is a Ron Rivera / Marty Herney guy, Terry McLaurin, obvious number 1, and De'Ami Brown. Those are the 4 guys that are locks. 5th and 6th options are going to be Cam Sims and Antonio Gandy. Hold on. What did I say? Give me 1 second, guys. Let me make sure. So I said Adam Humphries, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and then De'Ami Brown, who is a 3rd round pick. Antonio Gandy Golden, who made the roster. He's had an impressive preseason, so that's good enough to see there. Cam Sims right there. And then the question is Dex Milne Also could be that backup slot wide receiver for Adam Humphries, but maybe use him as a kickoff returner, or a punt returner. That is something that needs to be said. Who does Ron Rivera like most at punt return and kickoff return? Dex Milne could be a practice squad guy if DeAndre Carter makes the roster as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens there, but that answer will have to be there. And then tight ends, Logan Thomas, John Bates make this roster. And then it's between Ricky Seals-Jones and Simon Reyes. I can see how Simon Reyes gets put on the practice squad or gets cut, because he, is relatively new to football. He's known for a basketball player, from Chile. But I honestly think that Ron Rivera, they like him, so I think he's going to be the practice squad guy here. And then Ricky Seals-Jones will get that third position, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Offensive tackles, this is the way that I see it. Charles Leno, left tackle. Eric Flowers, left guard. Cornelius Lucas will be Charles Leno's backup, or they can reverse there. Sadiq Charles will be the backup, either left guard or backup left tackle as well. It all depends there. Samuel Cosme, Chase Roulier, Tyler Larson, I think will make the roster just because Keith Ishmael, he's a 5th round pick that I think that Ron Rivera can just, let go of. Keith Ishmael hasn't even impressed at all either, in my opinion. Brandon Sheriff, which is a lock, and then Wes Schweitzer, who could either be a Brandon Sheriff backup as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Defensive ends, I have Montez Sweat making the roster, Chase Young, obviously, David Bada. I think he could be a practice squad guy here. William Bradley King has impressed in the preseason. Shaka Toney. Now, you cannot sleep on Shaka Toney. However, I do think that he either will be a roster, be a practice squad guy, or get cut just because he has been injured for preseason. Hasn't really flourished at all in practice. So I think that he will be the odd man out. The rumor is that Washington will be looking to bring in veterans for that edge rusher spot. So we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. But, I have Shaka Toney either being on the practice squad or being cut. William Bradley King played very well. David Bada, I think he's going to be on the practice squad. He did play really well throughout the preseason, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Linebackers, nothing much to see here. John Bostic, David Mayo, who impressed a lot in the preseason. He had an incredible second half in the preseason game against the Cincinnati Bengals, so I think that he makes the roster. Cole Holcomb, he's going to improve in his third year. Khaleke Hudson, let's see if he can improve in his, I think it's his third season. And then Jamin Davis, the rookie, nothing else to see here. Cornerbacks, William Jackson, Kendall Fuller are starters. Jimmy Moreland as well is a starter. Benjamin St-Juste has a start. Now, hear me out. Torrey McTeer also makes this roster. Now, the question is, Danny Johnson, does he make the roster solely for special teams? And does also Troy Apke make this roster as well? I honestly think that Troy Apke gets cut just because he was getting burned during the preseason game against the Ravens. I think he's done. As much as Ron Rivera and, this coaching staff like him, I think he's done. I think they were like, no, we got to cut our losses. Troy Apke, he is done. Have Denny Johnson there as as a backup punt returner if you guys can't settle on Dax Milne or DeAndre Carter. I think he's could be a decent punt returner / kickoff returner there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I think Torrey McTyer, Jimmy Moreland, Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, and Benjamin St. Juste are the guys that make this roster. Safeties, Landon Collins, Bobby McCain, DeSazier Everett, Cameron Curl, Jeremy Reeves, who, had something to prove. And then Derek Forrest gets put on the practice squad. He needs more development. And from what I'm hearing, he wants to be a special teams guy. So maybe stick him on special teams so that way he can learn if you want. But I honestly think that he could be a good guy on the practice squad. And then special teams, Dustin Hopkins, please cut him. Find another kicker, Ron Rivera. You have placed your confidence in him. But I think he has missed kicks in the preseason. He has missed important kicks in the past. I don't see what the loyalty is here. I honestly don't. I think that Dustin Hopkins, he makes this roster because Ron Rivera likes him, but I think that there should be better kicking options out there for Washington. And then Tressway and then Cameron Cheeseman will round out the special teams. So let me see. I said Ryan Fitzpatrick, Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen. Those are 3 quarterbacks there. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Jarrett Patterson are the 3 starting running backs. And either if Ron Rivera wants that 4th running back, then Peyton Barber makes this roster. But we'll have to let's just go with 3 running backs for now. Adam Humphries, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Cam Sims, Antonio Gandy Golden, De'Ami Brown, and Dax Milne make this roster for the 7 wide receivers. Logan Thomas, John Bates. My opinion, Ricky Seals-Jones makes the roster. Stick Sammy's Reyes on the practice squad so that way he can get better. Offensive tackles, Charles Leno, Eric Flowers, Cornelius Lucas, Sadiq Charles, Samuel Cosme, Chase Roulier, Tyler Larson, Brandon Sheriff, and Wes Schweitzer make this roster. And then defensive ends, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, David Bada on the practice squad there. William Bradley King makes this roster as well. And then the linebackers, John Bostic, David Mayo, Cole Holcomb, Khaleke Hudson, and Jamin Davis. Cornerbacks, William Jackson, Kendall Fuller, Torrey McTyer, Jimmy Moreland, Benjamin St. Juste make this roster. And then Danny Johnson makes the roster just for special teams purposes. And then safeties, Landon Collins, Bobby McCain, DeSazier Everett, Cameron Curl, Jeremy Reeves, and then Derek Forrest either on the practice squad or put on the special teams as a special teams player. We'll have to wait and see about that. And then Dustin Hopkins, if you don't find a better kicker, you can cut him, Tressway, and then Cameron Cheeseman. Let me know if I overstepped or if I counted. I tried the best to count them down, to count it up to 53, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Like I said, there are still some, tough calls to make. I have to double check my Twitter to make sure that there wasn't any players released in the time that I'm recording this, just to make sure, my information is accurate, but we'll have to wait and see. But until then, guys, keep it real. Keep it here for Real Madrid content that should either be coming today or tomorrow, just to make sure that my sources aren't fake news at this point. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, guys, keep it real. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.